Hey, sports fans! Coach Nick here, and welcome to the B-Ball Breakdown live show coming at you, as always, on a Monday morning. And I'm always joined by Andrew Combo Sal to discuss the latest and the greatest in the NBA. Combo, what's happening, my man?
Was hooping yesterday. They were saying Ben Simmons with a jump shot.
You're Ben Simmons with a jump shot. I just heard that. What was that? What was that? What are you referencing?
I'm referencing my gym, my time in the gym. That's what I don't know anything else. That's what I'm hearing.
I heard that. I've heard it somewhere else, Combo.
It's just so good. You thought you heard it before, but it's really just combo.
Ben Simmons with a jump shot. Who are they using that to describe?
Combo.
No, as I'm telling you, as an NBA player. Are you stealing that from somewhere? Someone in the comments are going to tell me I saw that somewhere else.
No, locally in the gym.
All right. Well, all right. That means you can. I didn't know you can pass.
Oh, that's one of the best parts of my game.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Good to know. Good to know. Mm-hmm. Well, we got a lot to talk about. I dug through some of the JJ and the whatchamacallit beef. Should we share that real quickly? Should we try and share it? Because I feel like maybe people haven't seen the video. You're not saying yes.
No, you want to hear my take? I think it's regular basketball stuff. That's what I think.
Yeah. You are definitely one of those people who has had that kind of experience in terms of what's like to be in a situation like that, right?
Yeah, I think that's normal basketball stuff. Star players and coaches get into it all the time. So we don't know exactly what was said, but there's a million phones in the arena, and over the course of the season, each team is going to at least have 2 or 3 of these, right? Easily.
Probably.
Yeah. So it's just part of the game to me. And then, Luka's fiery and JJ we know is fiery. So this is going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me go full screen. If this people can get a sense of what it looks like. I'll turn that sound off though. All right. So here's what's interesting is that they were smart enough while they were in the actual arena to film this. And if I do this and I do this, there we go. All right. So here is what we see. Let me get back to the very beginning here. This is actually in the first quarter of the Warriors game.
That's crazy. That's a crazy title. They definitely don't like each other.
Yeah, right. Well, this is interesting. So this is the first quarter. Now, the score is already lopsided. The Lakers have come out firing. And interestingly enough, you hear Richard Jefferson say that the Lakers had not met the intensity of the Warriors up to that moment with like a minute and a half left in the game in the first quarter when the Lakers are up by 15 points or something crazy. So I don't understand that. But they sub for Luka, and here's what happened. Somebody was smart enough in the stadium to kind of film this, and here comes LeBron, and he gives Luka a tap, and then an extra little tap, like hey, don't worry about it, maybe.
Yeah.
And then there's JJ. Is this playing smoothly at all for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me.
So there's JJ, and he's already out there like saying, like, first of all, Luka, body language. What do you grade this?
Angry.
Yeah. Right, he's looking down, and by the way, look, he changes his course. We don't see because it's a vertical video, but
also he's probably trying to avoid anything crazy right now, right? Like he's okay. I know if I'd rather not say anything at all because I know if I say something, it will come off right. That's how I look at it.
And he's trying to avoid JJ because look at his path. He starts to go away from him. I don't want to talk to you. I want to say my head is down. Leave me alone. JJ won't stand for it. He's like, no, give me a high five. And then this is bad. Like. I think JJ should have let it go. I don't think he should have pushed this. Anyway, and then he grabs the arm. Hey, give me a high five. Luka's like, all right, whatever else, whatever. But he doesn't look at him, keeps going. And JJ now is following him. This is not good. This is the kind of thing that, I don't know. I suppose more experienced head coaches might kind of read the room a little bit better than this. And this could be nothing. Like you said, this happens. How many times might this happen in this season?
Yeah, like even I guess if you could, I don't know if I should take it here, but like, a wife and a husband, like if the wife is mad and walks away, just let her go.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad analogy here. Now, This is also your star player, right? And this is important, right? The star player and the head coach need to be on the same page. I would think that's really important if you want to have a successful season. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah. And I don't think this means they're not on the same page. They might not be on the same page, but I don't think this specifically means that. Me personally.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but what's weird was, so he follows him, right? So this is Luka disconnecting. I don't want a deal. I don't know what the deal is. And again, they're up by a lot. They're playing well. Luka was certainly playing well offensively, right? And remember the point I made, I think in the last show and the last video was, you know what? If Luka gives up like 6 or 8 points, getting backdoored or bad defense, it doesn't even matter because he's giving you 55 points. He's creating 55 points for you in every game. Like easy.
He's an offense in its own. It's kind of the question that I went with you in LA when I was like, would you trade Luka and LeBron for Wemby? And Wemby is super great and has GOAT potential. But then again, Luka is an offense in himself, you know? So that's what makes that trade interesting and why Luka's so special.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because Wemby, I think, will be that great, and he's great on both ends.
Yeah.
But that's a tough question. But here's the issue. So but here's the thing: the Lakers are actually playing like pretty well. I mean, they're coming off a blowout of the Warriors, blowout of the Kings, and man, it's rough watching the Kings. I gotta tell you. I mean, I had moments where I'm going like this because their defense, it's just hard to watch. But we'll get into that, and also with the Wizards. But anyway, JJ kind of goes, what, in a real aggressive way. And here's a suggestion, by the way, for most coaches in this situation. When you stand up and looking down at the guy like this in this position, it's not going to help you have a conversation that you might want to have. It's better, and this is from like science and from studying body language and all that stuff. It's better if you were to get down a little bit lower so you're kind of eye level with the player who's on the bench. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's almost like when you dunk on somebody or hit a three and they fall down and you look down at them, that's even like more disrespectful, than waiting till they get up.
Yeah. Okay. And there's a component a little bit to that. Yeah. But like, you're just having a conversation and it's a little bit heated already. And to have that dynamic doesn't help. It just helps to get, and you don't necessarily want to like bend over at the waist and then now you're right in the guy's face. Bend the knees and you kind of get down onto that level or maybe even lower. Like I think that the other analysis has been be lower than the player and looking up to them and then have that conversation. It just helps if you're talking about optimal ways of communication. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, maybe JJ's trying to show his dominance.
Yeah. Well, it ain't going to help anything in this situation. In the NBA as a head coach with a player like Luka. And so Luka is pissed. He's got his arms up. Like, what do you want me to do? Someone was like lip reading was saying, I forgot or something. And then JJ angrily says something and stalks away. This is all bad. This is not good. And then I love Vanderbilt might be one of the best teammates in the league at this point. You see what he does here?
He gets in the way.
Yeah. But he's not confrontational. He's like clapping, he's grooving, he's having a good time listening to whatever the music's playing. You know what I mean? And it's just like he said real quick, something, hey, you're good. Don't worry about it. Because look, it looked to me like Luka was going to get back up and be like, get into it with JJ.
And that would have got bad, but for the optics, right? Oof, that would have been bad.
Yeah. And then you can see Luka turns to, what does he turn to at the end here? Is it somebody like a fan? I think he turns to a fan and says something like, he's angry. It's just weird because they're in the middle of killing this team and they end up blowing him out no problem. And I just can't imagine what you'd want to need to bring up in that situation. Now, I went back and looked because I think this is important. What was going on? It's probably defense, right? Because it's not offense, with Luka. And he'd already been diming and he'd been playing well. He'd been playing well. Will Richard took a rebound away from Luka and put it back in his face. Okay. They were in a 2-3 zone where GP gets by him, but he's on the other side. He had to come over he's on the left side, on the left side of the court, as a forward in the 2-3, and GP catches it on the right block. He comes over, and he gets beaten. They gets a layup, but it's a zone. I didn't think that was, a huge deal. Certainly not to get in the argument with here. But there's another time where they were switching really well and they're man-to-man, and then he closes out the post and forces an air ball from a three in the corner with like really good energy on the defensive end. So, and then maybe there's one where he ends up having Hayes close out to the corner instead of him. He might have been the guy who kind of should have done it, but like Hayes got out there. Melton hits the three, but he got out there pretty decently. So a couple of things in the margins, but again, I think the biggest thing to remember is when you're on the bench as a head coach, that vantage point it tends to be really bad, and it's really hard to really see what's going on. And so if you really want to get into it there, and here's what's interesting, the last part of this, and we can move on. Luka was already upset way before he started coming out, right? They already knew something was up. I was studying. I can't see anything in terms of the gameplay where JJ had yelled at something to him. That's the one piece we're trying to figure out. What happened that let Luka know already that there was something going on that was wrong? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. I have no idea what it is, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking around. Maybe I'll get a text back before we're done from somebody who knows. But we'll see. Interesting dynamic. JJ's got to be careful. We were talking about this, and my friends were hanging out with me last night. Is he on the hot seat?
No,
not at all.
I mean, when you're an NBA coach, you're likely going to get fired. So you could say probably 28 coaches are on the hot seat. Yeah. Right? Like if you're not Spo or Popovich, who's not in the league anymore, you're on the hot seat. But no, I don't think so. Not any more than a lot of other coaches. Do you think so?
What if they lose in the first round?
Hey, look, if the Knicks lose in the first round, Mike Brown's gone probably. If the Lakers lose, I mean, the expectations are varying on the Lakers right now, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Let's just see this real quick. Okay, it's working. Sorry.
Why do you think? I mean, you're West Coast. You might have a better feel than I do. Do you feel like he's on the hot seat?
Before I realized that this had happened. I hadn't seen this going on with Luka, but we had seen some issues with, JJ is a really intense, and I feel like we've seen him like that as a player as well, and doesn't let things go in a way that it's concerning. Like as you're trying to run a team, especially at this level with a guy like Luka, if you're not on the same page as Luka, you're in trouble.
All right. Well, yeah, there has to be some context. First of all, these guys were teammates, so we don't know how close they really are. My friends and me who are super close to me have gotten in heated basketball arguments, even though we're super close. They might be super friendly and super close. They just got into this one tidbit. And if that's the case, I mean, Luka's the future of this team, and JJ's definitely not in the hot seat, no matter if this happens or not. But optics-wise, it's not good for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm concerned. I think if they don't make it out of the first round, it'll be really an interesting decision.
Well, if Austin, LeBron, and Luka are healthy, I bet they figure out a way to get out of the first round.
All right, but they won't have home court advantage.
Yeah, but that's a lot of talent to me.
Yeah. I mean, so then now it's a matchup thing, right? Like if the Western Conference playoffs started today, let me just
who are they playing
real quick. Let's see here. Right now they're in the sixth place, so they're 2 games ahead of Phoenix to stay out of the play-in, which is important for them. And then they would end up playing the Rockets. Can they beat the Rockets in the first round?
Yes, definitely. And they're injured. They don't have Fred.
Yeah.
Jabari, I think, was out. I don't know why Jabari was out. And then they got the burner situation with KD, even though he's been playing well lately. They're kind of a mess. And then they have nobody to game manage. And they don't have a lot of shooting around KD. They have a lot of weaknesses, Yeah.
Well, then they just had the Amen problem too. They benched him. Wait, or is that?
And then they don't play Reed Shepherd.
They do.
Nope. Check.
What? You saying like recently?
Yeah, they don't play him.
I mean, enough because.
Check the numbers.
All right, let's look at real quickly at the game logs because
definitely not enough.
And I get it. There are times defensively where it's rough, but Reed Shepherd. Are you serious?
Okay, this is the Kuminga conversation all over again, Coach Nick.
Wait, but you just said they're not playing Reed, and I mean I've been peeking at the Rockets recently, but
all right, tell me the minutes of the last 10 games.
31, 29, 25, 23, 21, 23, 32, 30, 35.
When I watched, he wasn't playing.
Well, I guess that's interesting.
Yeah.
I
don't think this is the right system for him. The same thing like I said about Kuminga. It's just not a great coach-player fit. Now Kuminga's looking like a star. I think Reed Shepherd's a star in the right situation.
Okay, a star.
Have you seen Kuminga lately?
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but a star, what does that mean, star? Like you think he could average 20-something and 7 assists, Reed Shepherd?
Easily over 20-something, easily.
Okay, that's interesting.
And 20's not the same as 20 in the 90s, by the way. He could definitely get 20.
Right, don't argue with that. All right, okay, so right now in 25 minutes a game, he's averaging 13 points and, shooting 43% from the field. But he's crept up to about 40% from 3 on 6.5 attempts, which is great. That's like elite. So, that's good.
Oh, you know what? I'm not saying he's better than Khan. Like I had Khan as Rookie of the Year, which, by the way, he's the top of the ladder. Not to keep talking about myself, but I think if he was like in that Hornet situation, he'd probably average like 22, 23.
Interesting. Yeah. Listen, he's good. He's got the mid-range stuff is good. The threes aren't falling, but it might be worth a video to kind of do a slightly deeper dive into the Reed Shepherd situation. But
the video right now might be who's going to go number 1 in the draft. That might be the video.
Yeah, that's interesting too. I mean, Peterson apparently is hurt, which is why he's not playing in a lot of those games, right? And he's taking himself out.
Did they find out why?
He's got some injury, I guess, that he's really battling through. I don't know.
He's also like hooked up to IVs before every game or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so there's something going on. Like, it'd probably be worth this maybe like completely coming out with it, but maybe they don't want to because they don't want to damage his prospects. I don't know.
But a friend close to the program told me he was 6'6" Kyrie Irving.
Wow. Well, hey, I'm going to do a deep dive. I haven't really watched much of his game, but all I know is that when he goes in there, he just can't. No one can stop him.
Yeah, and he got a nice looking jump shot too. I'll tell you that.
Nice. Well, let's get to our first super chat, and don't forget if you want us to answer your questions, the best way to do it is on the YouTube side with a super chat. Super chat. Alan, thank you so much, Alan Tran. Always great to see you. Big friend of the breakdown. I'm happy that Kuminga can shine in Atlanta. He never fit into Kerr's system. On another note, Guy Santos is. Oh boy, I can't see what that emoji is. Can you? Is he surfing?
Oh no, it's this.
Oh, he's strong. Really? Okay, it's a yellow background. It's hard to see. In the last 13 games, he's averaging 15 points a game, 5 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 50% field goal, and 40% threes. By the way, Guy is kind of like what Kuminga should have played like. And look at what he got rewarded with a nice contract now. He's got rewarded by he'll get that nice role. What
Kuminga should have done, what the Warriors should have done is give Kuminga the basketball and evolve.
Yeah, but like that, when you have someone like Steph on the team, that's just not realistic, is it?
You evolve from David Lee to Draymond. Evolve from Draymond to Kuminga. I'm sure Steph could figure it out.
Wow. I mean, that's a little different, but you have the single most devastating offensive weapon like the league has ever seen. You're not going to involve him.
And to your point, I mean, Draymond was a perfect fit with that weapon. So I see what you're saying.
Draymond is the guy you're talking about. He's the one who needed to evolve out of the rotation.
That's what I'm saying, and learn how to play with Steph and Kuminga somehow, and rearrange the roster.
But Kuminga needed to be more like Guy. Now, you want to bring up the fact that Kuminga is averaging, and I just saw it. Let me get it real quick again. He went to Atlanta. He's played in 3 games for Atlanta.
He's looking like a superstar.
The Atlanta Hawks. You know the Hawks?
He's looking like a superstar.
Their record is, it's not even that bad. They're 500. But here's what he's doing in Atlanta right now. 21.3 points a game in 26.5 minutes per game. His field goal percentage is 68%. He's shooting 56% from 3. And, getting a few dimes, getting some boards. Are you aware of the teams he's played in those 3 games?
You could only eat what's in front of you, Coach Nick.
Okay,
nothing more.
Let me tell you.
Nothing less.
Portland, in this order.
Portland, good defensive team, by the way.
Portland, Washington, and Washington. And Washington, not a good defensive team.
Yeah.
Portland, he played, and the game was over before it started, and he scored a lot of those points in the fourth quarter, like in complete and utter garbage time. So
he's hungry, man.
We see the same tantalizing stuff that we saw in the Warriors, right?
He's hungry, bro.
Seen some of the same stuff that they made them, concerned with the Warriors as well there. So all I can tell you is we need to see this against a different team, a better team, before I can make a decision.
Keep talking. I got to plug in my computer. Keep going.
Okay. Right. Because, again, we've always been, and I don't think anyone's been arguing that if he went to a team like the Hawks or other, worse teams, and we can't say Charlotte anymore, man. Charlotte has got the best 5-man lineup of by far of anybody. I'm going to have to do the video. Will anybody watch it? Please tell me in the comments if anyone's going to watch the video on how that starting 5 of Charlotte is so dominant.
You got to make it LaMelo Ball based.
I guess, but I've done some LaMelo Ball based stuff, and it's done okay. I guess it's done okay, but I don't know. Maybe I got to leverage Canuckle in there. And
I always said if Kuminga went to the Brooklyn Nets, that was the team I thought he was destined for. Right, he would average 25 points a game. Right.
And efficient, and and turn the ball over and all that stuff.
I don't know, man. Coach Nick, he's looking pretty good. Coach Nick.
Yeah, like I said, he does. He's looking good, but he also, I'm seeing some of the stuff. So we got to see.
So what this guy now has is rookie level hunger, but an experience of a champion. and that's Jonathan Kuminga. So that could be dangerous for the league, man. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, listen. No one will be more happy than me to see that kind of play out.
And it doesn't look too good on Kerr if he does turn into a superstar.
Right. Well, okay, right, because Kerr was the guy, he was the gatekeeper. Obviously the front office wanted him in there and then they didn't want to trade him.
And then he showed these flashes, 30-point games, long stretches of 20-point games.
Yeah, and
contributed to a champion.
Balanced out with the most, amazingly low IQ plays, and it's like, okay, we don't have a lot of time here with Curry. That was probably the bigger problem was, there's a ticking clock here. They don't have a lot of time to be like developing that when it's that. If they listen, Moses Moody developed and figured it out like that. Guy Santos figured this out.
Sometimes players and coaches don't fit well together in systems, Like I said it before, like that read and react type offense was not a good fit. And I know you would say, because I know you so well, that you have to play read and react in every NBA offense. I know the rebuttal already.
Yeah, there's
that.
But
we're seeing with this very small sample size that a change of scenery has been good for him so far.
So far, it's so good. Yes. So we'll see how that plays out. But certainly, it wasn't a good fit no matter what you want to say for the Warriors with Steph Curry. That's the bottom line. And, obviously the allegiance needs to be to Steph Curry. And Steve Kerr is going to have his allegiance that way and know that that's the prism you have to look through this, Al. If Curry is out and then, they can play Kuminga, great. But when Curry is out there and Kuminga has any intention to play, then you got to fit the system a little bit better.
Yeah, like, do you have to rearrange what the system should be at this point? Because, yes, Steph Curry still plays like Steph Curry, but Klay's not there anymore. Draymond's not the same.
I don't know. If you're breaking off offensive plays to cut Curry off and get a ball and then shoot a bad mid-range contested that doesn't go in, I don't know. How many times do you do that before the coach says, all right, you're not listening?
Maybe it's time to change the course of action, because the guys that made that, systems are all about, like, looking at your personnel and creating a system, too. And like the old guard just isn't there anymore, even though Steph Curry's still Steph.
I guess, but like the old guard is there. It's not. You can't say it's not there. It's there.
Well, Draymond's not the same Draymond, and then Klay is not there.
No, I know, but like when they were at their best, it was without Kuminga, honestly.
And then it's a totally different NBA at the same time. The NBA has changed.
No one would tell you. No coach would tell you when you're watching those games. When the Warriors were playing at their best, when Kuminga was on the team, it was when Kuminga was not playing. They'd be able to unlock a lot more, and they'd play better just as a team without him out there. I mean, that was sort of the issue. Now, obviously, am I going to think that's aesthetic? Because if I look at the numbers, let's look real quick at his on-off overall, because I have that. I can do that real quick.
There were stretches at the beginning of the season where he was starting and playing well, and the Warriors were winning when him and Jimmy were there. Yeah.
Well, let's see. This year, right now, if we look at where he is, where's Kuminga? So his overall net rating difference was negative 5.1, which is not good. When he was on offense, the team was 4 points worse when he was on versus off per 100 possessions, and when he was on defense, they were 1 point worse as well. So it's not necessarily bearing out too much. I know when Steph went down, you'd probably see some difference in there last year in the playoffs, but obviously when Steph is there, that's what they have to be prepared for the playoffs. I mean, listen, it's tough. There probably are like if he played alongside Luka, would he be able to exist in a better framework? Like maybe, probably.
I mean, I don't know. Like you need to be able to catch and shoot even more with Luka, right?
That's interesting. Yeah, but he certainly doesn't have to be like screening.
Actually, Steph might be a better fit because Steph don't need the ball as much as Luka, and Kuminga likes to have the basketball.
Yeah, maybe that's maybe Luka is not the best example, but there are other stars, I'm sure. I mean,
it's funny. Like let's say Steph took Trey's spot with the Wizards, and he just kind of played with Kuminga. They could probably dominate together.
Interesting. Well, speaking of which, one of those two of the games I was looking at Kuminga footage was against Washington, and oh my goodness gracious, I think I told you I could score against Washington the way they play defense.
Really?
Well, no, but it's just a confounding mistake after mistake. It's like, wow.
If I had to score in the NBA at this point in my life, I would just take one-legged threes from deep.
Hey, love it. Yeah. That's exactly what I would say.
Hey, look, man, that's my shot right there. Maybe hit a few of those.
Right. Well, at least we're on the same page on that one.
By Any Means Basketball he had some good video about some dude overseas who's shooting a lot of them.
Yeah, well, that guy. Well, there's a guy in Germany who I'm friendly with, Tommy, who I did a video with. That was great. And then there's a woman, a Marine Johannes, who's
It's cool, man. It's cool. It's actually like the wave is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. I thought we'd be here already. Yeah, yeah.
No, it felt like we were getting somewhere a couple of years ago, and then I guess I'm failing. I'm not doing my job because this is all me, right? I'm the guy who has been pushing this for all these years.
Okay.
It's funny. I had a kid who did a 1-footed step through on Saturday as a freshman in high school. He's really good. And I'm like, so everyone here knows you can, that's legal, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, and do you know why you all know that? And they're all like looking at me. I'm like, because I told everybody, because I was the one 10 years ago who had to convince everybody that you can do that now. It's still legal.
Why not? I like the flow. I like the flow of it.
Oh yeah. Energy transfer, everything. It makes it effortless, especially from deep.
And I could go off either foot, Coach Nick, either foot.
Oh, you can? That's interesting.
Yeah.
That because it's hard. A right foot. Well, so for you, a left-footed jump on a left-hand runner is hard. It's gonna lock.
Yeah. I do them often when I'm driving left and getting almost stuck in the corner, but I'm not really stuck, and I just take it off that left foot.
So, are you doing it on? Because this is interesting. You can gather 1-2 and shoot it like a layup, or you can gather on those steps as you're shooting, as you're jumping to shoot it. Do you have a feeling on when you do that more often?
I don't understand the question, to be honest. Full
So you can gather early and take that extra step.
Yeah, I think I do that, and then sometimes I even do it out of a step back in the left corner and go left foot, one leg.
So yeah, so be aware next time, like when you're doing it, when you're actually getting both hands on the balls to start going up. Is it when the foot you're jumping off of is already down and you're like jumping off of that? Like
I don't think so.
Or are you gather and then you bump one?
Yeah, yes. I definitely gather first.
Well, you can play with that because then you can catch people off guard where you can kind of like gather in the same step and it's gone before.
Yeah. Nobody wants to guard that stuff. Like it's like, if he, it's almost like a will live thing, at that point. Yeah. For them, even though it's not a good idea for them.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, if it's a shot you practice, great. Then it's very viable. And I was able to.
It's deflating too. It's deflating. It's deflating for the defense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And I found myself about going my left and I go off the left foot, like as a right hander. It was not hard to keep it straight, even though I'm drifting a little bit. I'm not going straight onto the basket, and it was still easy to kind of keep it straight, right elbow, everything like that. So that doesn't seem to be the issue either. And more people need to kind of start looking at it.
100%. Love it.
What else can we talk about?
I gave you like a whole list of things.
Well, the Knicks and how they're guarding. Josh Hart after my video, or maybe before my video, he has one of the lowest gravity scores in the league, and they're ignoring him out there with Wemby guarding.
Yeah, it's getting bad. Speaking of shooting,
they were right off the gate. They were ready for that, and they cut him to the basket, and they boom, and he got I think an and one on a layup. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Speaking of shooting, that's the one concern. Like watching the Spurs play, Champagny has been, even though his percentages aren't too crazy. When I watch him, he knocks them all down though. Like I've seen some crazy games from him, but in general, they don't have enough shooting. I think, I think that's their Achilles heel.
I want to see Champagny should have his he's at
37%. Okay, 38%.
And he's been over 40 for a lot and a high volume. So he's a guy that has plenty of gravity. That's good. Castle is struggling.
He's been better lately. Castle.
Vassell has really been also at 38%, the same amount. So he's a sniper. Like he gets a lot of gravity when he gets that ball running at him. So that's good.
Castle, Fox, and Harper, don't quite give you enough. Like them three together, shooting wise.
Right.
But Castle's going to be an All NBA player, as a basketball player. Yeah.
So Fox is the guy that's going to have to kind of pick it up a little bit, I think. And knock down some more, but it's almost like this. Like what's interesting is like the Josh Hart instance. Josh Hart was shooting 40% from three, but still had no gravity. Like there's still.
I've been saying this for years though. Like the way he shoots it'll never be consistent. It'll always be ups and downs.
Why do you say that?
The energy transfer. Like you make him invisible. You watch what the ball does. There's a lot going on, and that's not the best way to shoot the basketball.
There's even more to that, which he can, he can benefit from some help from somebody like me, but call me, John. What was I going to say? He when someone gets close to him though, he doesn't shoot 40%. Like that's the thing. He can hit 40% when he can lick the wind, lick his thumb, check the wind.
Which is fine. I mean, Jokic has that skill, where if he's wide open, he'll just let it fly.
Right. And that's going to change in the playoffs, though. They're not going to give him that much gravity, I suspect. They'll close out a little bit harder in certain areas. But you know, it can get to you when you're not being guarded out there. It can really affect your mental aspect of the approach as well. But he was, they could figure some things out: handoffs, cuts to the basket. I think overall, if we look at him, I'm sure a positive to the offense. Let me look real quick for New York Knicks here. Let's look at what here. Where is he? Hart. Josh Hart overall it's actually almost even. When he's on the court, it's 117.6, which is robust. And when he's off the court, it's 116.7. So he's barely 1 point per 100 possessions better, which is not much. But that's better than a drop-off. Like, he's not hurting them offensively, which is good to see.
Well, yeah, he pushes pace. He's kind of like their Draymond.
Yeah.
He
just
he's
to make plays.
Connective piece. And then also that on top of that chemistry he has with Mikal and Brunson, just playing so many years together with Villanova. He might bring, like him and Mikal bring more value to the Knicks than probably anywhere else because, it's that Nova Knicks type energy. But this season has been so up and down. And I don't blame Knicks fans. Like, I always think about, like, Knicks fans getting so up and down, but some days they could look like contenders, and some days it looks like they're going to blow it up and go get Giannis.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I worry about. Like, there's emotional fragility there that could be influenced by certain players. But, they're firmly in the third spot. They'd be playing the Sixers in the first round if that's what the playoffs started tomorrow.
And Embiid's injured again.
Yeah. He is? I didn't miss that. What?
Okay. It's not leg related, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can easily, they can get the second round, and so that's something good for Mike Brown. You think they get the second round? He doesn't get fired?
Oh yeah, he might get fired. He might get, if they don't win the East, he might get fired. But then again, they have to pay him all that money, right? That's going to be tough.
Yeah. I think he'd probably be okay, but we'll see. I mean,
well, it's also the fashion in which they do it. If they're fully healthy, all that goes into consideration.
Yeah. There's plenty of coaches who have gotten a pass from some injuries that while seem terrible, actually help them stay in their positions for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, if they're fully healthy and they don't make the finals, I mean, he's going to get a lot of heat. He's going to get a lot of heat.
Yeah, that's true. And so will Cat.
Cat's got heat all year round. Every loss he's going to get. It's almost, I mean, look, we all have our issues with Cat, but it's almost unfair at this point. I mean, I think it's more than Cat, their issues. It's Cat with Brunson defensively, But Knicks fans will never want to admit that because Jalen Brunson's their Michael Jordan.
Right. Who's better? Who's more valuable? Who's more impactful?
Brunson or Cat?
Yeah.
Brunson's better.
So there you go.
Yeah, Brunson's better.
Yeah, I think if they want to get to that level, they want to get a title. That's I think Cat's position is the one they might need to on the market. And by the way, they could upgrade that without having to upgrade that. They could get a different kind of player in that position.
I feel like OG should be their best player.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I just saw something that Knicks film school was talking about how it's an adventure in the open court when he's going to maybe dunk it or not. Like, I'm unaware of this. I now need to go through the footage to see what they're.
Shouts to him. He was just on my show this past week.
OG?
No, Jonathan.
Oh, McCree or whatever, Matt Cree.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's who was talking about it, and everyone else was like, "Yeah, I know what you mean," but I'm like, I never noticed OG struggling to dunk or not dunk in the open court. I don't know. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he finishes pretty nicely when I watch him.
Yeah, I saw him do a putback dunk in this game against.
I was watching Blue Chips, man. Penny had the nicest reverse dunk. He did the Tim Hardaway, and it's crazy how quick he got up and like. I know this is kind of like a wild turn, but man, that guy was special.
Oh yeah, I ever saw my Blue Chip story because that came out when I was a senior in college.
Oh no, what happened?
So I was the manager of the basketball team, one of them, and at Wisconsin, and they brought everyone in for a special screening, all the men and the women's teams. So we're in there, we're watching it, and I don't know, Blue Chips is a starring Nick Nolte is a major basketball coach in college, and it's all about how dirty it is, right? And back then it was you couldn't do what you can do now,
which is all legal now, which is funny, right?
All legal, but then it was not legal. And but you see how it suddenly it became legal, and I could tell you there were some people kind of quiet walking out of that auditorium after we watched that.
Yeah,
that
I mean, look, what the top you would say out of the top 25 schools, all 25 were doing their dirt, right? back then.
Well, not only that, but each school had the dirt on everybody else. And so, what had happened with a few years before that was, I think Iowa turned in Illinois for giving a car to a big-time recruit. And because they were mad that they lost out on him. I think maybe he even committed there, and then he switched to the last second and I think it was over like a Chevy Blazer, if you remember those. And so from that point on, I think what all the other teams like, well, we can't ever get in a situation like that. So we better have dirt on everybody. And if they want to ever try and turn us in, they'll know that we'll just turn them in the next day. And so that was everybody, in place. And then on our team, we had the similar situation where we had a really great big man from Chicago commit at the very last second. Now, part of that was because Stu Jackson became the head coach and he could sell, I coached in the Knicks. I coached Patrick Ewing and let me coach you, that kind of thing. But he had a nice car at the time. So I don't know what that meant. Sorry, Stu, if you're out there, but not to
I feel like Stu would be just watch it. I don't know Stu. I feel like he'd be like a good guy to hang out with.
Coach Jackson was one of the best coaches who's been around. And this comes up because he was an assistant to Pitino at Providence when they went on that run with Billy Donovan.
No, wait. What's Jeff Van Gundy's brother's name? Stu, right?
No, Jeff. Stan.
Stan. I was thinking about Stan. Sorry.
No, but you're right. Stan was also on that as an assistant. And then he became coach after I left.
Okay, Stan's the guy I think would be a fun guy to hang out with, just watching him.
Yeah, Stan is the best. He would be absolutely. Now, Stu Jackson was a head coach, was also great. And what's funny is that we just saw a couple things. We saw Rick Pitino say that if you play really hard, I'm a really nice guy. And if you don't play really hard, then we won't get along. Did you see that little clip?
No.
By the way, I used to say that, and I'm embarrassed that I ever would have said that because I feel like it's not productive. It's not a good way to approach that. Now, then they had one of I forgot who it was. They had one of Pitino's assistants who's now a head coach at some major program, and he's bald, and he's like, I would have hair had I not, have been an assistant to Coach Pitino. Did you see that? He's like, it was a nightmare. He was horrible. I think he was trying to give him some props in some way, how he held everybody accountable, but he was lighting Coach Pitino on fire, and then stomping on ashes.
Pitino is I feel like very polarizing opinions about Pitino. But I mean, Pitino, I've met Pitino. He's very charismatic. He seems like another guy it'd be fun to hang out with, Pitino might be, but he also represents everything that's awful about coaching. And he's also won a lot, and then he changed his whole St. John's program around. Being here in New York.
Yeah, I mean that's always the thing they won a lot. He's not winning a lot because he's an asshole, which is basically how he behaves. He's got good X's and O's. He knows how to develop individual stuff.
He knows how to get players to play hard.
Yeah, but there are so many better ways where you don't need to destroy the relationship to get players to play, but maybe even harder than what he gets. That's the thing. He holds players back.
My JUCO coach, who would be considered crazy now, the way he coached. It was archaic, but he always said that his players, when they were done, even though they hated him while they were there, they loved him when they were gone, and they would always come back.
I'm not sold on that. I don't think that they.
Have you heard that? Have you heard that before?
Oh yeah, listen. Izzo was the same way. They all go back and hug him, and they have no idea how much he held them back. That's the thing. Most of the time when I see that, it's because it's just a player who never had a coach that used emotional intelligence. And they think that they need that to play hard or whatever. And it's I think that's garbage. And I think that's sad that players are conditioned to believe that. Now you can get results. Yeah. It's just not the best way to do it. It's not even close to be the best way to do it.
Okay.
And I've learned listen, you destroy relationships that way. Look at Bob Hurley at St. Anthony's. That school, they produce how many pros and how many guys who've made tons of money playing basketball. And that school closes because none of them came back to try and help them out and donate money to keep the school going. That says a lot. Bobby Knight's player is the same way. And Pitino's in that realm, and Pitino knows how to put his arm around them later and be like, hey, if you just didn't make me have to scream and yell at you, then we wouldn't have to do that. It's it's a victimhood stuff. It's terrible. So at any rate, but interestingly enough, Stu Jackson didn't have that kind of communication method. He was much better. And it's too bad. I don't know what happened, why he decided not to coach anymore after that, because then he went to the NBA and then he was,
Phil Jackson was kind of opposite of.
Phil was a little bit that way, but he also would have a mean streak, and he would get on players too.
He also was very into self-development, giving out books and Zen and Buddha and.
But he also he wasn't immune to doing the old school stuff too, and I think he probably maybe recognized it a little bit later on. But Horace Grant was a guy that would just took endless negative coaching, and Tony Kukoc got it as well. So let's get another sweet super chat before we wrap up here. Bangs Edit, thank you so much, Bangs. Great to see you. Welcome to the conversation. Coach, do you think that Tobias Harris is an all-star? Thoughts on Quinn Snyder? As a Hawks fan, I'm tired of him subbing out Alexander Walker for Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent's one of those guys that coaches love, by the way, just so you know. He plays really under control. He plays within himself. He makes good decisions when he's not injured, which seems to be a lot. I think Quinn Snyder's got one of those rhythms that's great. Like, he really knows how to communicate with players and motivate. I think I've heard some stuff after games that's just been amazing. Like, the way he just gets it, the way he sees the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Quinn Snyder. And speaking of Gabe Vincent, the Heat really made his career. They were the team that allowed him to thrive and have this NBA career. So kind of like LeBron in a different way, how LeBron learned how to become a winner when he went to the Heat. It's the same kind of thing for some of these role players that kind of revitalized their career playing for the Heat.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I was just watching Levitard, those guys talking about Spoelstra and how he's immune from any criticism in a way that they thought maybe he should, he should be able to get criticism at times. I don't understand why they went away from their offense that they were running, that beautiful offense that he had been running, to what they're doing now. But
Hero and Bam have not evolved. Yeah. They haven't evolved as players.
Right. Hero was never, his post game's never developed, and for whatever reason.
But did he get at KD about the burners? That was pretty funny.
Who?
Tyler Hero. I think he was talking back to KD about the burner accounts.
Oh, is that what that was about? I saw you can't hear what they're saying. So that's what that was about?
Yeah.
So they were getting into it during the game, and then they kind of had to hold KD back. That's clear. All right. I mean, whatever you can do to get under his skin, I guess, is fair game.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's obvious that that was his burner, right? That's not even a question now. So
KD definitely has the burners. I've talked about this on shows. I don't want to go back into that though. It's all
right.
Never.
Tobias Harris, an all-star. By the way, I was watching the other day. He's really probably their second most important player out there when he's out there. He gives them so much.
What does that tell you about Cade Cunningham? His second best player is Tobias Harris.
I gotta tell you, I was thinking about that too. I was watching it. Your take on Cade Cunningham's teammates being not great is terrible. I'm sorry, terrible. It's a terrible.
I'm not saying they're not great. I'm saying that Jalen Brunson has OG, Mikal, and Cat. Luka Doncic has LeBron James and Austin Reeves. I mean, a lot of these top players, SGA, Chet, Jalen Williams, a lot of these players have a lot better supporting cast than Cade Cunningham has. And I think that's why Cade Cunningham is the MVP, because he has the best record in the league.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, he was making a bunch of shots at the rim last night as well. And they turned that game.
When I watch him, he looks like a good finisher to me.
They were getting beat, and then all of a sudden they came turn around. I missed how they did that. They turned it around and ended up blowing him out. But
here's my take. You want to hear my take?
He's not a good finisher at the rim. You want to say he is. Again, you can say when I watch, but overall, he's not.
Here, listen to this. This is how
yesterday.
Tell me if you agree. Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. Luka is the most talented basketball player in the world, and Cade Cunningham is this year's most valuable player.
Okay. Most of those things sound good. I don't know if Luka is the most talented, but
really,
I don't know. That's just what does that even mean? What does talent mean? I don't know. Like Kyrie's not playing, so it's okay. But talented,
I mean, the way he scores, the skill level for his size, he's probably one of the greatest passers to ever live.
Yeah,
all that's his touch.
Yeah, I'm now a little bit jaded. I'm a little frustrated. It's frustrating to watch, but it has nothing to do with his talent. It's about the complaining, and then it's actually frustrating as well that he's gotten to the point now, body wise, that he's he can't move real well compared to how he did. And at 27, it's like that's just frustrating to me. I don't know why, but it's frustrating.
So you agree with Nico to trade him away?
No, I mean, listen, the guy is too valuable to ever trade him. But let's get back to Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is not an all-star. He just doesn't fill up the box score enough, unfortunately. However, this aesthetics, that is not necessarily basketball, because he does a lot. He does a lot at both ends for them. And he's kind of plugging holes everywhere they need him. He's really good with that. So that's what I think about Tobias. So he can't be an all-star, but he's just very solid. He's always on the cusp. He's been on the cusp of being an all-star a number of times in his career. And that's probably right. He's just right below that tier, and that's his role. And you know what? He's anchoring a starting five of a great team this year. Now, how well are they going to do in the playoffs? I'm still worried. And this is going to be your vindication or your.
You've been doing this vindication thing. The whole, like Coach Nick, I've been proving. No, because the debate last year was let's not move the goalpost too much. Is he a top 20 player? And that was our debate.
Okay. Well,
now look
around.
But fast forward, look where we're at now. We're talking about him as the MVP.
Okay, so it's this, they have to get to the second round in the playoffs.
He's done, man. He's an MVP level player. Like the conversation's over.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if they'll win the championship. I don't think he has enough of a supporting cast.
Yeah. You know? I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I know. Like, okay, so in my career, I've been a bench player, a role player, and a star player. The experience of being a star player was, yes, I was the best player on my team, but we weren't winning because I didn't have enough around me. We added one or two like good players, and we became a 500 team. You know, it wasn't about me. It was about what we built around me when I had that star role. You know, when I felt like I was the best player in the league, and that's what it is with Cade Cunningham. Like. He's a top 5 NBA player no matter what happens.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll get better at finishing.
That's why some championships are more defining than others. Like Jamal Murray just made an all-star game this year, but before that, Jokic won the championship with no all-stars. Yeah. You know, not a lot of people could say that.
Well, you better hope that it's not like Game 7 of the NBA Finals and Cade gets a drive and misses the shot at the rim to win the game for the title.
So that means he's not top 20 anymore?
No, it'll just prove that he's not the MVP.
Well, the debate was top 20 last year.
Last year, okay. Yeah, no, I've been telling you.
We could keep moving the goalposts. Then if he wins 4 championships, you're gonna be like, combo, he's not the GOAT unless he wins this next championship. Like we could keep doing that, Coach Nick.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it. I'm not moving goalposts. I'm just talking about a guy who doesn't finish well at the rim compared to the real MVPs who do. At the rim. It's just beyond, you can't, the fact that you can't acknowledge that, like, that's the shot that should be really important.
I can't because the results are the results.
All right. Well, all right. We got to go. Good stuff as always. Thanks everybody on the super chats. Got to go over to my politics pod and talk about what's going on there, which is, if you haven't noticed,
this is a lot more fun than that, right?
I know. We're in the middle of a war that might get wider by the end of the week. So please be safe, everybody out there. I don't know. Don't forget, sports fans, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel. We're a conversation. You in? Are you in?
Yes, sir. Be safe out there.